Indonesia has sent thousands of soldiers to its province of Papua after widespread riots led to the burning of a provincial parliament building and tens of thousands took to the streets. But this time the violence has not been limited to the rest of province bordering Papua New Guinea, with a mob of Papuan students assaulted in Surabaya, Indonesia's second biggest city. Indonesia's president has been criticised for failing to condemn what many are calling a racist attack, and for his reaction of cutting internet access to Papua. Johnny Blades reports.
Unrest was triggered when dozens of Papuan university students in Surabaya were assaulted by a mob last week and later arrested. The students had allegedly disrespected an Indonesian national flag on the country's Independence Day anniversary. The Papuans' dormitory was quickly surrounded by a large crowd, including elements of Indonesian nationalist militia, calling the students monkeys and chanting "Papua, get out." These angry scenes were echoed in a standoff in the city of Semarang when civilian groups demanded Papuan students fly the Indonesian flag. A researcher with Human Rights Watch, Andreas Hassono, says anti-Papuan sentiment is on the rise in Indonesia.
Military-related militias are starting to increase their campaign against Papua by showing that the Papuan refusing to raise Indonesian flag, hoping that it will exacerbate the situation on the island of Java, Indonesia's most important island.
Footage of the racist harassment in Java spread quickly, sparking thousands to march in the streets back in Papua. In Papua's provincial capital, Jayapura, an estimated 20,000 people mobilised in the biggest demonstrations seen in the region for years, protesting against racism and calling for independence. In another large protest in Manokwari, unrest spilled over, with the provincial parliament building set on fire and roads blocked by burning tyres. Indonesia's President Joko Widodo made an appeal to Papuans.
Saya tahu ada ketersinggungan, oleh sebab itu.
I know that there are hurt feelings, but as fellow citizens, the best thing is to forgive each other. It's okay to be emotional, but forgiving is better. Being patient is also better, and be confident that the government will continue to safeguard your dignity and prosperity.
But US-based Papuan independence leader Okto Mote says this response is disappointing.
Now, Indonesian president, he ignored what's going on, and then he said, "Oh, okay, guys, you just apologize each other." So West Papuan apology for what? He doesn't condemn the racism. He doesn't say racism is not right. So many years we experience under Indonesian colonial, the discrimination, racism, we experience in everyday life.
Over the week, protests have spread to other towns in Papua, including Merauke, Biak, Nabire and Timika. In the coastal town of Fakfak, protests turned violent before shots were fired by security forces, with at least 2 people seriously injured. Deploying extra officers to Papua, Indonesia's government has cut internet access to parts of Papua in a bid to stem the flow of what it terms hoax news. In Manokwari, a local resident, Uthu Sawaki, says the city's streets have returned to an uneasy calm.
Police is still everywhere and the security is also good this morning, but still people are still afraid to go out from the house, just couples, motorcycles and cars, but it's not like in the past.
Indonesia has deployed around 1,000 more military forces to Papua to quell the unrest. But protests have continued through the week, including in the national capital, Jakarta, where West Papuans demonstrated in front of the presidential palace, displaying the outlawed Papuan Morning Star flag. Discrimination against Papuans is a long-running problem in the Republic, but the Surabaya incident has triggered a new momentum for Papuan independence, which has left Jakarta facing a crisis it may not have seen coming. This is Johnny Blades.